in control against our Tosis debate. And going back and forth.
That'll be easy.
Jeff, I'm going to kill you with the breathing, man. It's Idra 2.0 over here. Welcome to State of the Game, guys, our first ever video production of State of the Game. So it's going to be a little weird. We've got to get used to this. You can see, of course, Tyler there smiling around. That is, of course, Taylor Parsons, T-Pain down below. And Jeff couldn't find his webcam. So in his place is the one, the only, the Fat Cat. And he's going to be filling in there for Jeff. Jeff will get a webcam eventually, so it's not like we're always going to have the Fat Cat there in that place. But what have you guys up to? We'll start with Tyler. How you been, man?
Pretty good, man. Not a lot of tournaments going on since I'm already qualified for TSL. Thank God. It's so hard. So just playing on Korean server, actually. Practicing out.
What do you think about the Korean server now that you've had a little bit more time to play over there compared to the U.S.?
You never play against a bad player. That's what's great about it. And the best players are a little bit better than on the other servers, too. So you never have to bash a noob, and it's great. The latency is definitely annoying.
Yeah, I mean, how much actual delay do you have playing over there?
I mean, I don't know how many milliseconds it is, but it's noticeable, and it's frustrating until you get used to it. And even once you're used to it, it's a disadvantage for sure.
Cool. Well, hopefully that continues to be something that helps your game overall. I know Taylor, T-Pain, Parsons, you were talking about kind of wanting to play on the Korean server, even possibly considering going over there. Is that, you want to talk about that a little bit?
I don't know that I can.
Oh.
But
and I just fucked up.
Yeah, it's all good. I just recently got a Korean account. I got my hands on one, so I'm probably gonna at least try it out. Yeah. That's why I just jumped right into that.
Good job.
I'm probably gonna start playing there just to see what it's like, because a lot of players that I respect over here have started playing on the Korean server, and they have nothing but good things to say about it, except the ping, obviously. Everybody shares that issue in common, but it's like everybody pretty much unanimously says kind of like what Tyler just said. Really good players, upgrades your Chizo meter, but they can like transition out of it too and play a real game. So I think it would be good. It's just a good experience in general. And then as far as going out there, I think just the whole concept of living, just like immersing yourself in StarCraft 2 day in and day out and living with people who are playing competitively all the time and talking about it. I just think that whole experience would make you a lot better as a player, regardless of whether you stayed out there with, dreams of like winning GSL or, whatever. Like if you're trying to be a really good StarCraft player, I don't see that experience hurting you in any way. So,
well, we'll all be looking forward to the future to see if anything comes out of that. Jeff, what's been going on with you, man? I don't actually have a full screen webcam of you, so the cat is in its place right now. What's going on with Jeff Robinson right now?
Super busy, man. I'm actually going to have the pleasure of casting and participating in the Game Developers Conference, or the GDC. Russ and I actually fly out for that tomorrow, and I'll be casting that. I think a schedule was actually posted on Team Liquid, so definitely check that out. But it's nice because I'm starting to get recognized as a caster, so I'm getting a few gigs here and there, and it's gonna be really fun. And I, already I'm getting emails from people who are like, "Hey, let's meet up for lunch. Got some business stuff to discuss." And I'm like, "Sure, man. Yeah, sounds good." It feels good to be in the midst of the corporate interest and the growth of esports. As a Brood War player, nobody was like, "Hey, Jeff, we want to discuss." A $25 tournament that we're going to be hosting in 2 months' time. We want your help organizing. It just didn't happen that way. Now it's like big time stuff being discussed. So that's pretty cool. And then the following week, I go to PAX East, where I will have a booth in honor of Kingston X and Kingston HyperX, excuse me. And people will actually challenge me for free gear, which will be fun because I'll be sitting across from them. So if they actually do beat people over their head. But if they don't beat me, then I get to make fun of them, which is, I'm just kidding. That's all not going to happen. But DJ Wheat will be commentating it, which is like anytime I get to be commentated by that guy is a pretty freaking awesome thing. And then the following week, I'm literally giving you my schedule because this is so crazy. Following week, I'm going to San Francisco with a meeting with IGN about some pretty cool, awesome projects that are coming out. And then a couple weeks later, it's MLG MFing Dallas, mofo, and I am so excited because 2 people aren't going to show, and I'll be in the top 16. And I don't care. I'll take the Artosis victory on that. I will qualify in the top 16. And people will be like, wow, that's so awesome. We're like, yeah, dude. I placed 18th, and then 2 people dropped out. But boom, there I am. So I'll take it.
Well, congrats on that, man. Also, I want to talk about you're going to be going to PAX East. I will be there as well.
Yes.
Day 9, Husky will be there, DJ Wheat, like you said. We're all going to get together for a little bit of a kind of impromptu State of the Game at 10 p.m. in the Cat Theater. I told Jeff I asked for the Horse Theater. It did not exist. It's too bad, but we got the Cat, so can't really complain about that. I'm just rhyming all day here. But we are going to be doing a live State of the Game shortly after a show match between 4 Team Liquid players that Husky and Day 9 will be commentating. Tyler, you actually played in that, so we'll have to see how that goes for you. I believe there's a $500 first place prize. And shortly after that show match, we'll be bringing you guys State of the Game live. It's got like a 500, I think, capacity stadium theater, something like that, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
I want people standing in the corners.
You want to walk out and they'll be cheering your name?
I want to be carried out, actually. Thank you very much. But we'll probably take all 500 people to do that.
Well, I'm glad you made that joke because I was about to, but I didn't. So that'll be a lot of fun. We are going to have a recording of that. So if you can't actually make it out to PAX, since most of the tickets are sold out, we will be able to bring that probably audio-only episode to you guys. I'm not going to put a time frame on it because I don't know how fast we'll be able to get that. But let's go ahead and move on with the shit ton of announcements that have hit since last week. And I guess we're just going to start off with the most recent. Earlier today, MLG released their map pool for the first event in Dallas. And it is MLG Metalopolis, MLG Scrap Station, MLG Shakuras Plateau. These are all MLG, actually. Shattered Temples, Zelnaga Caverns, Icy Cups Test Bug, and the GSL Crossfire map, which has a little bit of changes from the Blizzard map. But I want to get you guys' opinions on this, and we're going to start with Tyler first. First impressions, and also you probably need to mention a little bit of the changes that MLG has made to the maps. But what do you think about the map pool, Tyler?
It's a pretty good map pool. The first thing that hit me was the size of it, because actually I'm used to StarCraft tournaments. A lot of time had maybe 4 or 5 maps, and so 7 maps is a little weird for me. But I know there's a reason for that, so we'll have to deal with that. But I think it's a good selection. I checked out Test Bug. I haven't played on it yet, but I've been rooting for a 3-player map to hit the scene, so I'm really happy to see it's 3-player, and I looked at it, put a lot of thought into how it'll play out, and I think it's pretty good. So excited to start practicing on it. The old ladder maps that you guys chose, well, I'm saying you guys, you're MLG, JP. This is your decision solely.
Awesome, thanks for that.
It's good choices from the old ones.
Over there laughing.
Sorry. And I guess what was the GSL map? Crossfire?
Crossfire SE, which was originally a Blizzard map that GSL went and edited. I don't know the actual changes that GSL put in there.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my opinion of that map is at this point.
Is that the Peaks to Bake Do one?
Yeah. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the map pool?
Well, I can't help but to be uncomfortable with a map called Test Bug. Like the word test just makes me so nervous. I know that's just a name. I know it's obviously, but
and Bug too.
Can we just call it Bug?
Yeah, and Bug, right?
Well, we'll just call it the Icy Cup map. How about that? The Icy. Well, that probably makes you a little bit more nervous, but.
I want to say this. I like the maps. Let me just say that as a blanket statement. I love the maps. I think these are all maps that we can look at and say the best player has the best chance to win on these maps, except for Scrap Station. I think that's a terrible choice.
I agree.
I don't know who was like, we got some excellent games on that Scrap Station. Huck did a terrible Mothership Rush there and got creamed.
That's clearly the only reason we picked it.
I don't like that choice, but I'll live with it. I don't think it's like the worst map in the whole world, but I think it is certainly the worst map. I haven't actually seen Test Bug, so I say that having said that. But I think the really interesting part about this that I'm surprised Tyler didn't touch on, I'm sure he just kind of forgot about it, was the map changes. There's going to be no more close positions, and actually there's no blocking of ramps anymore. Both those things, I think, are extremely bold, and at face value, I think they're really good choices. But I have to be honest, on some level, they make me a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm not entirely certain as to why that is. I think it's a little weird to me that the map positions are being restricted, so we know exactly where people are going to spawn. Essentially, a 4-person map, like Shakir's Plateau, becomes a 2-person map.
Right, and that's the only one of the 4-player maps where you'll know kind of.
Yeah, but then Metalopolis becomes a 3-person map.
That's true.
I think actually all of them become 3-person maps for the most part. There's no closed positions and no ramp blocking. I think, in my opinion, it had to be one or the other. No ramp blocking and close positions is fine, or no close positions but you can ramp block. But I don't know. Nobody, Protoss don't really block ramps anymore. There's no cannon rushes really going down, except for Huck. And then
just Huck.
That's pretty much it. But I don't know. I want to put it out to those guys because I'm uncomfortable with it, but I think it's the best choice.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to respond before Taylor gets a chance to say his first word.
God, you're already shitting on PainUser, and it's only about 10 minutes.
We invite guests, and they don't do anything.
Thanks for watching, Taylor.
No, but I gotta agree. Actually, Scrap Station, I don't really like it in there. For any other reason, it feels old. Just get it out of there. Nobody's really been in love with it at any point, and now I think people are just kind of tired of it because it's been played so much.
Let me ask you this then: of the current ladder maps, which one would you rather see in there besides Scrap Station?
Isn't Lost Temple not in the map pool?
Shattered Temple is, which is kind of the new. It's
I
basically
one of the new GSL maps.
Absolutely, one of the new GSL maps.
Yeah,
Terminus or Tal'Darim Altar, maybe.
Even that big ladder map, the Blizzard one's pretty good. I can't remember the big ass one. Let me pull up StarCraft, so I'm not just talking about the big one. Blah blah.
You're talking about Typhon or whatever.
Yes, Typhon, the super big one. I like that one.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
I too.
We'll get on the new Blizzard maps a little bit later. But Tyler, still, you've had some time to think about it. You still agree with the GSL maps, or are there any other ladder maps out there that you think should fill the void that Scrap Station is kind of, or not the void, but take Scrap Station's spot?
Yeah, I would have to go with the GSL map. I don't think I would be comfortable with any of the ladder maps. But right. I did want to add to Jeff's point about the not having close spawn positions. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just really great because in any tournament where the loser picks a map, I think it's important that they know what they're picking. You don't want to pick a die to roll, be like, maybe I'll get good positions, which every Zerg has to do when they pick Metalopolis. They're just like, well, 2/3 chance that this is a good map for me. That's not how loser pick map should work. You got to pick a map that you like, that you're comfortable on, that you're guaranteed that you get to play the thing that you think you're best at on the map that you think you like the best. So I really like that. It's definitely going to help.
PainUser, you could finally talk. What are your thoughts on the map pool?
I kind of agree with what's been said so far. I like the map pool a lot. I feel like Scrap Station is definitely the map that jumps out with a red flag for me, just because it really yields itself to a quick map split, and it's really hard to take advantage of your opponent and make incisions on that map. It's really easy, even as Terran, just to ring your base with turrets and take your natural and then slowly take a third. And I don't know, I just don't really like it. The games are generally pretty boring and you don't really have a lot of options. But all the other maps, I think, are really solid. I played around with Test Bug a lot today, and I think it's a good map across the board. It has a couple of interesting little doodads on it as well. I like the rocks blocking the Zelnaga towers, and then the golds that are also blocked by rocks in the middle. So It's kind of like I think that map will have a lot of action in mid, and people will be fighting for control over the middle of the map quite a bit, and it'll be pretty action packed. And then also it's such a big map that it leaves people open to drops and all kinds of other cute stuff too. So I think that'll be pretty exciting. And I also like that it's a 3-player map. It's kind of a nice change. Like all of the maps are either 4 or 2, so I think that's pretty cool too. It'll change the dynamic a little bit.
Now, overall, I mean, comparing it to, and we haven't really even seen any of the NASL maps, the map pool for them. But who would you say right now, in terms of all the tournaments out there, including the Blizzard ladder, which really isn't a tournament, but it does have its own map pool? What would you guys say is kind of the most balanced map pool from all the tournaments out there? Whoever wants to take this, because I'm not sure who is going to have an opinion. Sounds like no one.
What was the question?
Oh man,
I think it's really too early to make a judgment call like that. I think a lot of the different tournaments are experimenting with like larger maps at the moment, and there haven't really been enough games played on those super large maps to really determine if they're more or less fair. So I don't know. That would be my answer. It's all like kind of up in the air at this point. We just need more playtime and more big tournaments to really solidify which map pool is like the most stable for tournament.
I feel like the bigger the map, the better the player that wins, which like scouting gets tremendously rewarded. One of the things I like about some of these new maps too is they shrunk down the base, like the base terrain, so that people can scout with a scan or overlord and see things. So it's not hidden. It's more for the overlord than anything else. The scan is like a giant eye in the sky, but I think the bigger the map, the better the player has a chance at winning, and I like that because it just, I guess I'm reiterating a little bit, but it allows for the little things that kind of fall by the wayside to be more of a strength for you, like scouting and shit. I mean, a lot of people can just sit in their base and mass and then walk over the steps of war map and then just go kill their guy. Doesn't matter what they were doing.
Jeff, I want to throw a statement at you that Idra told me the other day, and he was saying that everyone thought that Zerg needed these macro maps to kind of be more balanced in the state of the game right now. And then when I was speaking with him the other day, he was saying that after playing on and seeing a lot of the Zergs on these new macro maps, he's saying that Zerg actually has probably the hardest time right now scouting on those maps simply because of the Overlord speed and whatnot in the beginning of the game. I just want to know what your thoughts on that were.
Not to be overly critical of Greg, but I actually, I watch a lot of his games. I practice with him. I see him play quite a bit. I have a problem with his commenting on scouting because I don't think he does a very good job of scouting, to be quite frank. Like, I think Morrow does a better job with his Overlord spread and moving around the map, scouting circles. I know. And Greg, if he was here, he would give me a snide remark and not talk to me for the rest of the night. But,
probably. But
quite honestly, like, that's one of the parts of his game I feel like he could improve for great success. And that's actually one of the things I harp on all Zergs that I coach, because I don't think that's emphasized or talked about nearly enough. In fact, it's like this weird soapbox subject for me because I harp about it so much, but I really do. I think Zergs are so bad about Overlord scouting. So Overlord speed certainly could be an issue, but it's one of those weird things, too, where I think if you increase that, they become insane. I don't know, I mean, I guess he's more specifically talking about versus Terran.
Yeah, I think that
because some of that early game shenanigans does get tough, but like it's no different from Brood War. Big ass maps, Overlords took forever to get there. In order to scout the strategy, you had to drone scout, or pool first, but nobody pool first. It's just you kind of relied on what you knew was going to happen, and I feel like that should be pretty similar to StarCraft 2.
Tyler or PainUser, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, I agree with what Jeff said. I think it's also just more pertinent for Zerg in general to scout because they benefit the most, I feel, from knowing what their opponent's up to. That it's a lot easier to get surprised as Zerg when you're feeling safe and you're droning up and the other player does something completely unexpected. It's really easy to lose games like that. So I feel like it's definitely more important for them. And then also I don't feel like the Overlord should just be like a free full base scout in every game. Like they should be slow and lumbering, and you can put them in really key positions like in the mid and late game. And if you're really good about spreading your overlords in all the key positions on a map, you can catch all kinds of things. You can catch medevacs leaving Terran bases, you can catch warp prisms, phoenixes, void rays, and it just gives you that much more of a cushion time before anything goes down. So I don't really think the large maps like hinder Zerg in that regard. And not only that, a lot of the large maps have a very large spread out and wide open mid with not many obstacles, and I feel like that also really yields to Zerg strength because you can set up really powerful flanks and you have a lot of room to move around, and their units are incredibly quick. And I've played a lot of games with like Rhett on the new maps, and he's just vicious in the middle of the map. He gets real nasty, and I feel like that definitely helps Zerg out a lot. So all in all, I would say that they help Zerg a lot.
So reason we are doing this, it looks like PainUser's webcam did freeze up. We'll get that fixed for you guys here in just a couple of seconds. But the next thing to come out of MLG was a little bit earlier this week, or actually last week, I should say. And Slasher made a post talking about the tournament format. And I think, Tyler, you were the only one to understand what was going on.
Yeah. That I did.
So
I guess I'm a genius. I don't know.
Well, from what I
wanted to say, you understood what was going on.
From what I
This guy
understood, that you did take an MLG course at Duke University, so you understand what's going on.
We studied MLG tournament formats at Duke.
So, be a friend, be a pal, do my job for me, and tell us a little bit about this year's MLG's tournament format.
Like, explain the whole format.
Explain the parts that...
Hey, he's calling your bluff. Let's see it, bitch.
See it.
Oh, I can explain the whole format.
Yeah.
I've already put up the flow chart on the stream so people can follow along.
They got the flow chart.
They got the flow chart.
All right. There's 16 seeded players. They're going to go into groups of 5. But those groups aren't done yet. There's 4 groups of 5. That's 20 people. There's only 16 of them, so you need to find 4 more. They're going to run an open tournament, 256 random sign-ups. Anyone can sign up. And that's a double elimination bracket that they're going to be in. The 4 people that are in the winner's bracket go to those groups. So they don't play the whole bracket out. They play the winner's bracket out, so they have 4 people. Those 4 people get into the groups that the seeded players are in. They play the loser's bracket out until they have 12 people, and 4 of those people are going to be a round ahead of 8 of those people. So those 12 people are going to go into a new bracket, the championship bracket. They're the 8 of them that were behind a round are going to go into the first round of the loser's bracket of the championship bracket, and the other 4 dudes are going to go a round ahead. Then they got to play out these groups, okay? So the groups get played out, and the groups don't eliminate anyone, and they're just for seeding into the championship bracket. And it's not that everyone gets seeded into the first round. If you win the group, you get seeded way the hell ahead in matches of everyone else, and if you get second, you get seeded 1 round back, and third, another round back after that, fourth, another round back after that. And if you get 5th, then I think you're seeded like either the same or 1 round ahead of those 4 guys that didn't get to play group play but made it into the championship bracket. So then you just play out the championship bracket. It's so simple.
So for me, after I Artosis into the top 16, does that mean I'm like level 3? So do I not play the first day at MLG Dallas?
See, that's like pretty much one of the main reasons why they have this format is they can start the group play on Friday. On the first day, they have 16 of their best players that can immediately start playing the group. So they actually play the group out as much as they can because they're missing 1 player in each group on Friday. So everyone can watch these good players play their games on Friday. Then on Saturday, they find out the last member of each group, and then you have to play all of those games to get the groups figured out by the end of Saturday.
So I play all my groups Friday, and then Saturday I'll just play my game against this one guy. and then Sunday, that's when the final portion of the tournament.
Yeah,
goes.
I'm not sure if like the championship bracket is all on Sunday or if they sneak in a few rounds on Saturday night or what. They have a schedule. It's all there. You can look it up. But yeah, and then the probably one of the interesting facts people like to know is the seeded players, the 16 seeded players, the worst they can place is 24th.
Sick.
Yeah,
Fucking
so
already a success.
You are toasted your way into the top 24.
Damn! I did such a good job last year. I'm so happy.
So, Jeff, it sounds like you're quite happy then upon learning how this actually is going to work with the new format.
Yeah, I mean, I think this cleans up a lot of the randomness of the tournament. I think for some, let me say that. I think for a lot of others, this increases the randomness for them, and I think there's a give and take there for sure.
Right.
It's hard also from my perspective, and I think Tyler's in the. I mean, obviously Tyler's top. Actually, all three of us are in the top 16. So, well, I will be. I guess it's kind of a weird perspective for me. I'm waiting for my letter, but when I am there, all three of us will be, and it's kind of a privileged position. Certainly, placing or already being in the top 24 is like it's not necessarily an accomplishment, but it's not a travesty. You're not. No one's going to be like, oh shit.
A nice fail-safe.
It's a nice fail-safe, but there's other people too. Like these MLGs are bigger, the prize pool is bigger, the prestige is bigger. It's more important, so you can qualify for the grand final, which I think a lot of Koreans aren't going to read that rule and be totally flabbergasted why they're not allowed to go to Dallas at the end of the year. But so like it's going to be really weird for some people getting these random ass matches. You know what I mean? Like Axlav, who's one of the hottest freaking players in all of NA right now, is going to go into MLG Dallas, and God knows what he's. I mean, you said earlier. You told me that people have to win 21 best of threes to win.
Yeah,
that's worst case scenario.
That's if you lose the first
Really
round. I think is what that means. So if you lose the first round of the open bracket, then you have to play 23 best of threes to make it to the finals.
But I remember Select.
Yeah, you basically have to select your way through it.
He won like 8 best of threes in a row, and everyone looked at him and he was like, he was so effing tired.
Yeah,
double that and then plus some. That's a lot. I mean, you win an MLG, they're gonna hand you the check and you're gonna spit on it and be like, give me a goddamn glass of water. Like you just survived the marathon.
Something like that. PainUser, welcome back. Glad to see your webcam's working again. You're kind of quiet though. I told you to adjust your mic some. Hopefully that fixes it. But what are your thoughts on the?
How's the volume?
I think we're good. Good? Yeah. What are your thoughts on the new format for MLG this year?
I mean, I'm obviously fine with it. I'm in the top 5. I'm hanging out.
Sounds like everyone in top 16 is just like, I'm top 16. What the fuck do I care about the rest of the
mean, yeah, like we have the luxury of being okay with it. I could see like what Jeff was talking about. A really talented player like Axlav, who is getting really good right now, could come into the tournament, and he definitely has to deal with that random factor, if not more so than us. And I had to play. I was overshadowed by Select's ridiculous run at the MLG that you were talking about, but I had to play 7 best of threes, and by the end of the night, I was so done. And then I had to play consolation matches on top of that with Druby in Terran versus Terran back when it was like 6 factory siege tank World War I, like trench warfare. And we played 2. I won the first game and then he won the second game, and then the third game, like, I don't want to say I threw it because I was obviously trying, but it was a complete disaster. Like, I was ready to pass out. So if there's anything that can be done to fix that or limit the amount of games that have to be played, I don't know that there is, other than making the event itself a few days longer. That's going to really suck for some people.
Good sleep and drinking water.
Yep. Other than that, I mean, I like that it's a little bit more organized. There was a lot of confusion at the previous events with like the brackets and the format and how it was working and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just the next step in making the tournament larger and more successful and more professional. And I think the map pool this year is a lot better.
Well, there's no Kulas Ravine this year, so I think a lot of people, Idra specifically, will be happy about that. And we are going to adjust the map pool as the year goes on, so these are not the maps for the entire year.
Oh, hey.
That's actually kind of a big announcement, in fact.
Is it, Jeff?
Well, it's downplayed by
It's-
MLG for obvious reasons, but the fact that you're saying that you guys are willing to adapt and change is pretty cool. I think that's an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, Lee said that in the forum post, I think, pretty early on, that we are going to be looking at the map pool as the year progresses on and kind of change with the community and change with the game. So
That's awesome.
and I think, honestly, it should have been that way last year. It wasn't for whatever reasons. And I think any tournament kind of needs to be that way.
Yep.
If we find, like, for example, if we play Test Bug for this tournament, someone finds something that's incredibly broken about that map, we're obviously either going to get it changed immediately, not at the tournament, probably, but we'll get it changed immediately after the tournament, or just not use the map anymore. So
That was one of the things I had said that's scary about, because we had talked about this subject, many moons ago, and one of the things that was mentioned is that when you use maps that are not in the ladder with Blizzard, you're just not going to have the sample, the test sample. I'm just like completely misspeaking there, but you're not going to have the number of games on those maps necessary to root out that stuff. So, like,
yeah,
Team Root in the darkest corners of the world is going to come up with some strategy on Test Bug that nobody else has ever seen, and then Cats is going to dump lean hatch, like Hydra Rush through the secret tunnel with these rocks that are blocking it, and you're going to die. And I'm going to look. I'm not going to look at Cats angrily. I'm going to step up and go over to MLG Lee, and then I'm going to throw him into the rafters, because I think that's one of the fears. But that's not MLG Lee's fault as well. I mean, that's not entirely his fault. It's also that Blizzard is being, a little bit reluctant to kind of address the map situation. I know that's kind of weird, given that they just released 4 new maps, which is awesome.
Yep,
they're definitely moving in the right direction. But I think we're in a little bit of a frightful period of time where tournaments are kind of taking on themselves to be like, okay, well, we'll just make new maps and we'll rig them and we'll jury rig them and we'll change them so that they are acceptable to the play level that we want.
So I guess you mentioned the new maps, and we'll just kind of transition away from the MLG thing, or the MLG announcements. There was the new patch that just came out, or was announced, 1.3 on the PTR, and there are quite a lot of changes in this. And I did just
the amulet. Tell me about the amulet, Tyler. Jeff, tell me about the amulet.
I mentioned that to Tyler earlier, Jeff, and we were just talking about how everyone on your stream, both of y'all's stream, has just been like, what do you guys think? So here we go. Let's just get that out of the way. Then we'll go on to talk about some of the other changes. Tyler, what do you think about the amulet being gone? Are you going to miss it?
Look, me personally, I'm not going to miss it. It was part of my late game play when Protoss eventually got everything. Then yeah, it was nice to have the amulet. But my mid game play and certainly not my early game play didn't include any of this High Templar business. It's this shitty tech to get earlier on. It's all about the late game and just having everything. And I think Protoss is pretty damn strong late game, and we can do without one more trick. So I don't know. I didn't ever really depend on it that much.
Taylor agrees with you.
Yeah,
I was keeping it real, dude.
1,000% agrees with me.
Keeping it real.
But that's just me. I know a lot of other Protoss who have made their game around depending on Amulet. Yeah, all of Europe.
The continent of Europe.
Yeah, the continent of Europe. Yeah, they
literally go Blink, Stalker, Colossus, High Templar. That's PvT in Europe. Are you done, Ty? I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
That's pretty much it. You can go ahead.
Here's why it's bad. I think the Kadir and Amulet needed changing. I don't think you should be able to warp in a Templar and have Psionic Storm ready. But I think you should be able to warp in a Templar and 5 seconds later you have Storm or something along those lines, because just flat out removing it makes it so ridiculous. It's like the Templar tech, which, as Tyler already said, is pretty bad to go early, but is good to go late, is now damn near obsolete. I'm not going to go a separate tech path and make 150 gas units that can warp in and feedback, or 500 years later can cast a single storm, which if you sit under it, does 85 damage. I'm just going to make more Colossus. Like, that's just the bottom line. I don't make a whole lot of Templar as it begins with, but I think they needed to change the Catering Amulet, but removing it is further stagnating the Protoss play. Like, you're going to see more Colossus. And guess what? You already saw a freaking lot of Colossus, right? So I think it's kind of a weird choice. I'm loving the memes that are going around with pictures of Dustin Browder where people are like, we had a problem with Marines.
Yeah.
let me
And then they
bring
change
that
the
up.
Infestor and
Brilliant.
take out the Catering Amulet. He's like, still got problem?
Yeah,
It's-
there it is. That's what Jeff is referring to right now. It's actually quite hilarious, but
He's got such a terrible smile for that picture, too. It's
He
like
really
he
does.
knows what he's doing.
yeah. it is.
Tyler! Or Taylor.
Wow, hold on. It needs to be said, I thought that your webcam had frozen again, but it was just that you kept the same face.
It's very serious.
for
Very serious.
almost a full 5 minutes, but
We're going to gravitate to talking about Zealots in a second here, and then you're going to see him not moving an inch. It's going to freeze.
I'm 100% for it. I think it was really necessary. I mean, obviously, like I play Terran, I have to deal with Storm. But I mean, as far as like the changes, I think we're kind of like not on the right track. Like, they didn't change Storm. Storm is still really potent. It's still really powerful. And the reason I felt like Catering Amulet was such a big issue is in late game Terran versus Protoss. Like, if you had a really big victory against a Protoss, like if you came up relatively big in a battle and you had a big victory and you were pushing across the map in the late game, the big issue is the Protoss would have his fourth and his third, and he would have cannons up and pylons, and it was kind of like this succession of falling back to the next available pylon, warping in a couple High Templar, storming your Bio Ball, storming your Vikings, whatever you had to push. And it created this situation where even if you had a huge moral victory in the late game against the Protoss, he always had that Catering Amulet with High Templars to fall back on and just diminish and destroy your army on the way to his fourth and third. And like, even if you kill the fourth, the question is at what cost? Like, how much gas does he have available? How many warp gates does he have? How many High Templar can he warp in? So,
How would you change the Storm then, Taylor?
I mean, I'm okay with what they did. I don't really have a problem with it. I always thought that the Catering Amulet upgrade was just way too powerful in
You
general.
were saying that they didn't change the Storm. That was what you were saying just moments ago. Like one Banshee build ago, you were saying that the Storm wasn't effective.
I think that the issue was the frequency at which they could storm. When they were on like 4-base late game, and gas wasn't really that big of an issue. Just the ability to warp in a High Templar ready set to storm. It creates situations where like you've just fought a battle and you've EMP'd a couple High Templar and you've killed most of his army, and you think you're safe from the storm, and you're not really worried about spreading your units all that much. And then you push into an area where maybe like on Metalopolis, on the high ground behind the gold, he can warp in a few High Templar and he can storm you on your way in, where it's really hard to like get a preemptive EMP off or something like that and just decimate your whole army. And I felt like it was really tough to play against. But as far as Marines are concerned, I still think TOS is more than capable of dealing with Marines in the mid and late game with Colossus and still with Storm. It's just, you're just going to have to be a lot more precise. You can't be as liberal with your Storms now. But I don't think that Templar are like useless now. I still think they're a really powerful unit, and I still think Storm will be used, and I still think it's really good. I just don't think it's as insane, especially defensively, as it was before. I feel like with the Catering Amulet, it was a super strong defensive spell as well as offensive. So that's my 2 cents.
Tyler or Jeff, you guys got any thoughts? Or you want to just skip to the rest of the patch notes?
I'd love to hear Tyler. You got something?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe having Templar start at 50 energy is a little too harsh. In Brood War, they started at 62.5, technically, once you got their energy upgrade. And it worked pretty nice. They were so slow by the time they like walked onto the battlefield they had a storm. But it's, they had to build from a gateway and then walk, which is a lot different than warping in right there and then having the storm. But, like in Brood War, if you didn't get that energy upgrade, if they were starting at 50, then it was like it was terrible. Like, you couldn't reinforce with High Templar. Like, it was a good like middle ground, I think. And right now, with just completely removing the energy upgrade in StarCraft 2, it seems like it might be a little bit extreme. If you just dropped how much energy it gave, it would be a very weird upgrade, like, here's 15 energy, you can start with 65, so you still only have a feedback, but you have to wait a little while. I think that might be a little bit better, because I think it's a big deal because you can't just warp it in right there. You have to warp them in a little ways back. Give them a little time when they're vulnerable.
It rewards smart players, I think.
Yeah, because a big problem right now, starting with 75 energy, is they have very short amount of time when they're vulnerable. You just want them to get the storm off, then you don't care about them anymore. And if they have to sit there for 10 seconds or 15 seconds or so when they're vulnerable, and you have to have a safe spot for them, then that's a lot harder. And I think it would be pretty balanced. And I think that's PainUser's main problem is, when you win the battle and they just warp in and chip away at you, it's really tough for the Terran. Just dropping it a little bit would be, I think it would solve it, and it would keep the Protoss players happy. I don't feel like it's a change that Blizzard would do, though. I don't know why. I think
I would be okay with that. I would be cool with that. It's just the like instantaneously warping in and simultaneously storming.
Yeah, they warp in like 5 seconds or something is warp in time, and then that's just not enough time of vulnerability where you have to protect them. You should have to protect them at least maybe 15 or 20 game seconds.
Yeah, I would be cool with something like that. Like maybe the outright removal of the entire upgrade is like a little bit extreme. Maybe they could do an upgrade where, maybe they recover energy at a quicker rate or something, or maybe they start around 65, 60, something like that. I would be cool with something like that. That's kind of like a middle ground as far as flat out removing it is kind of crazy. It's like
or keeping it the same but create a cooldown on Templar when they warp in.
You mean a cooldown on like how quickly they can storm?
Right, so you can't just warp in Templar and they can cast a spell.
That could work.
That would be
same kind of deal, right?
I think that justifies the cost of the Catering Amulet, so it's not like you're literally upgrading something for 150 gas, 150 minerals that's not that great at all. Like, you probably just wouldn't do that upgrade at all if you changed otherwise. So with this, at least, and I think that's good too, because I'm not necessarily a big fan of feedback being instantaneous. I think that gets abused in some situations as well.
I like feedback being instantaneous. I think that's fine, but I think your suggestion is better than changing it to starting with like 60 or 65 energy, because it's just more intuitive. I go, starts with 75, now he has a cooldown, that makes sense.
Jeff, I gotta say, I'm just gonna say it, I'm gonna drop you from the call if you don't stop typing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's up. Yeah, I know.
You've known it for months.
I'm killing you guys with a smile. People expect this comment. This is the new professional, Jeff. I agree with you guys. I dropped me too, right?
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm going to buy you a mic stand tomorrow. I'm going to get Russ's information, get it shipped over there. Anyways, patch 1.3 does have more things in it than the Kadarin amulet. Already,
Taylor, I gotta look at your face. I'm so glad we're doing a webcam. Let's talk about the Terran changes, can't we, JP? Can we please?
Yeah, let's just jump to it, Jeff.
Oh man, I wish you had a goddamn camera. It's weird now. I feel like it's like a one-way mirror.
There'd be an inappropriate picture right now. My pants are bulging up at the screen as we speak. This patch, they're like, Terran, doing too good. Let's release some. Let's make some changes. EMP. Upgradable. Stimpack takes forever. No more, what else is there?
Bunker build time.
Yeah, the bunker build time about 5 seconds, 30 seconds on stim pack, and then the BC movement speed was increased by like
I know
0.4 of a second.
They keep tweaking the frickin' BC in the bunker as if the key to understanding Terran will be found in the bunker in the BC. They're like, it's all wrong. Remove a damage from it. I'm getting tired of those BCs.
T-Pain, what are your thoughts on the Terran changes?
I mean, I'm okay with not having that super early stim timing push. I didn't really do a lot of that crap anyway, but I think it'll make some of those like 3 and 4 racks, like pulling all your SCVs, stim timing attacks a lot less effective if the Protoss has, 30 more seconds to deal with it, get a couple more sentries out, prepare a little bit better. As far as the bunker changes, like, I guess that's more about like Zerg and people who get like cheesed, like bunkers out of sight of the hatchery and whatnot, or like bunkers blocking the ramp, like a la Jinro Hydra style. If you have 5 more seconds, I guess it would be a little bit easier to maybe pick off the SCV or get a couple lings around it and pick it off. I'm okay with that. Battle cruisers were way too slow. I'm cool with like a slight speed increase, but I mean, I kind of agree with Jeff. Like, they keep slightly tweaking the BC, but it hasn't really like fulfilled its role as a capital ship for Terran that well. It used to, but I mean, they were ridiculous before. They would just absolutely annihilate everything on the ground. But once they had their DPS removed by that much, and I don't know that they ever edited the speed, but it'll be interesting to see how BCs work into everything with a little bit more speed. Maybe it would be easier to like keep them in the back and maybe come in and drop some Yamatos before they all just get fed back because they're so slow. I don't know. Time will tell, I guess, but I'm okay with the changes. And as far as ghosts, EMP's upgradable now. Is that the deal?
I do not see that in this Team Liquid post, so I'm not sure where Jeff got that from. Jeff,
what?
The EMP upgradable? Where did you hear that?
Actually, I think that was one of the things that what's his name, Naniwa leaked, and then they just didn't include.
They didn't include it. So, I mean, that is some more stuff could be added to this moving forward.
I'm fairly confident that the Blizzard surveys that they send us, I think a lot of them have different like proposed changes on them, also so that they can see like if people leak them, they know exactly who leaked it. Like, I think the surveys are custom tailored to each individual player that they send them to. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because I've gotten a lot of like very abstract, weird changes that I don't think that they would ever really implement.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Some of the other
it's kind of like a screening sort of thing at the same time. But I think some of them are definitely legitimate ideas that they're considering. But a lot of it's just like really weird stuff, like really drastic changes that would alter the game way too much.
Some of the other changes that did happen to the Protoss, one of them directly affecting Jeff. The Mothership Vortex is now, units coming out of them are now untargetable and immune to damage for 1.5 seconds. Jeff, how does that make you feel, man?
Terrible. I think that's so stupid. I don't know of any situation in competitive play where people are like, oh, shit, if it weren't for that. Like, I think it's awesome in PvP. Like, it becomes like a guy makes a single Templar and feedbacks the other guy's mothership, and he's like, oh, no, snap. Everyone's, it's like crazy. And then he vortexes the other guy's whole army, and it's this big Colossus toilet or Archon toilet. And then, I mean, I guess in ZVP it probably was too strong. I think that's what they're targeting here. I think they took something that was too strong, and they made it into something stupid and ridiculous. Like, in what sense, in what logic does it make sense where you vortex an army, and they come out, and they're like, well, thank God, inside that black hole we found out we have invincibility for 5 seconds, and then they come out, and what? Are they able to attack and they're invincible, or are they just sitting there like they're stunned? Because that's hugely different, because why would you ever vortex an army, and then they come out and they're invincible? Like, what situation ever would you do?
You would want to try and get, like, a portion of their army. and then kill the...
Then they come out and a portion of their army's invincible.
No, you want to kill the portion that you don't get.
I understand
Right?
that. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're not talking weird science here. I'm just saying, like, yes, okay, that's the utility, but still the stuff that comes out, like, it's not like they have to fight the other half of the army. If you vortex half my army, I just walk away with the other half. And then I'm like, okay, well, come chase me, and then you're going to get flanked in a second by an invincible army. People
Can
that don't
can
die.
they attack and shit?
That's what I was asking. I don't know.
I don't think they can. I think they're like stunned. They're like inanimate.
Did they say that?
I read it somewhere. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
I think they can't do anything for a little bit. Because that would be ridiculous if they could attack.
If they're stunned, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, that would be.
I still don't know. I think that's. I mean, in PvZ, I think it was imbalanced. I think, like, what does the Zerg do to respond to the vortex? I think the mothership in PvZ is ridiculously strong in general, anyways. But I think it was necessary for PvZ, I guess.
Tyler, what are your thoughts on? I mean, is this even something to talk about with the Zealot charging, now hitting the fleeing targets at least once as they are running away? Now it's just kind of right now in the game. It's just fleeing. They are going to land one hit though in the new patch. What are your thoughts?
I think it is a big deal because right now you get charged in PvT against a Marauder heavy army, and you still absolutely have to have force fields. If you don't have force fields, even with charge, you just get kited. And it's actually possible to, like, for the Marauder to hit the charging Zealot and then just, like, run away and kite them. And then they charge forward and just don't do any damage at all. So, and then, you know, come medevacs are healing anyway, so you just send in all your Zealots and they all die. So you're still 100% dependent on force fields to deal with Marauders, even when you have Zealots, which are kind of a counter to Marauders, and you even spend 200 on an upgrade that a Marauder 50/50 upgrade totally owns. So,
well, I don't think it was ever to be a replacement. I think it was just to make it better, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have a Zealot heavy army and you have charge, and they're going to kite you, you're going to do, I don't know, hundreds more damage. You might not kill a lot more things because all the damage will be spread out, but your Zealots will actually accomplish something. So, I mean, it's a really expensive upgrade. So
He ain't smiling.
he's just like,
It's the end of the world for him. Zealots got better.
He's like, wait, are we talking about something good for Terran? I'm cool with it. Something bad for Terran.
Oh god.
No, I'm in 100% agreement with everything you just said. You can totally kite charge lots, and
it's
don't
ridiculous.
do shit. Yeah, I agree.
Taylor,
I'm fine with that.
It sounds like with time comes wisdom. It sounds like you've grown as a man and as a player. I got a question for you, Taylor.
I still think Zealots
Oh
are good.
Jesus!
I got a question.
I think I know where Jeff is going with this.
I got a question for you. In my left hand is the blue pill, and my right hand's the red pill. The blue pill is a cloaked banshee. The red pill is a dark
fucking
Templar.
DC.
Which do you take, sir?
The red pill.
Are you...
Now his hands are holding
What-
these things, right? The
what right do
DT,
you have being this dumb? I don't understand. Like,
I would take the red pill.
what?
he's gonna open his hand and just throw the DT out, and he'll have like a scratch on his palm. He'll put a Band-Aid on. The Banshee is gonna get so pissed. After 1 second, it'll just release all its fucking missiles that explode. He's just gonna have a stump
He's
here.
the penguin.
Yeah,
a
right,
banshee was in
dude.
his
The
hand.
DT could cut fucking Jeff in half and leave him a stump of a man. Jeff could jump out of the way of the Banshee missiles.
2 halves of me would know that a banshee's still better. I mean, a frickin'... Like, listen, a bald eagle is a banshee. A penguin is a DT. One is bound by the earth in their limited wingspan. The other can strike at hundreds of miles per hour. It represents America. You still think this? I don't understand. Why is the DT better?
It's permanently cloaked. I think a lot of it has to do with my opinion on the matchup. Like, DTs give Protoss a lot of map control. They prevent you from moving out until you've saved a pretty good amount of scans. They force you into a really defensive posture, and you have to build turrets and shit. And at least with the Banshee, with DTs, if you're not prepared, if you've burned your energy on mules and you have an NG bay but don't happen to have a turret, and they come in at a specific timing window that it's just a random bit of chance, it's an automatic loss. At least with a Banshee, if you have a robo bay, you have hope. It's either going to run out of energy at some point, or you're going to chrono out of an observer.
Taylor,
and
we're comparing the orbital command to the robotics facility in terms
well, no,
of
I'm just comparing them in terms of detection, not in terms
I know.
of...
Here's my point. You're going to have an orbital command because it's effing amazing. I have to make a robotics facility so that I don't die to your Banshee. And then...
But you got to understand, if you've just burned your mules and you're in the range of 10 to 20 energy on your orbital, and 2 DTs are up in your mix, and they're one-hitting your SCVs, it's game. You automatically lose.
Tyler, help me.
Yeah, you had to be bad to get in that position.
I mean, it depends. You can get caught with it, even by, the worst of players, man.
If you didn't
they hide the shrine...
Here, this is what you do. You build a Banshee, and while it's killing all its probes, it's also scouting. You see TTs coming a million miles away. I mean, look, I don't think a good Terran should be surprised by DTs. You can sniff them out too easily.
I mean, dude, I catch them sometimes too, you know? I hold DTs off, and I feel great about myself. It's the best feeling in the world. But at the same time, every now and then, one of them sneaks by, and it's it's just the type of thing that gives you nightmares. I always imagine some 14-year-old kid with a shit-eating grin smiling at his computer every time he runs 2 DTs past my natural before the 10-minute mark.
Actually, I was just trying to think
I guess it goes both ways, to be honest. Banshees are super scummy too. I'm not one of those players that rushes cloaked Banshees and tries to gimmick a win like that. It's good. I should mix it up a little bit and do that every now and then just to be a fucking jackass, or in a best of series just to take a pretty easy quick win.
Weren't you the guy that popularized Banshees and Thors?
Yeah, but that's
Would you like me to popularize DTs
super
and
late
Colossus?
Game. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
No.
Try and beat me with DT Colossus. We'll see what goes down. It's because Banshees are actually a good fighting unit, all cloaked.
Really?
Yeah.
Would that factor in which one you would choose, or
they have totally different roles. I guess the Banshee can kind of fill the DT role, but I don't feel that it's nearly as effective as the DT's outright permanently cloaked harass role. The Banshee can fill it, but not to that extent.
A Banshee opening is safer than a DT opening. First of all, that's just my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that. But then...
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, and then you harass with a Banshee. It's more likely for the Banshee to get away if it goes into a shitty situation than for the DT to get away. So it's more likely you have some shit saved up. But even if the Protoss is able to save their DTs, kill some SCVs and actually get out of there somehow, once it comes to a fight, Banshee most of the time is pretty good in a battle where the Protoss has got some gateway units and he's got some Colossi. They can just pick a spot on the field and just start raining hell down on the fucking units. A DT, it doesn't do much in a straight up battle. If
I agree.
It gets lucky, if it sneaks in somewhere, then yeah, it can do start one shotting Marines or whatever. But most likely you're going to save a Banshee after you get an opportunity to harass with it, and then it'll contribute. The DT just sits there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I do not even have a counter argument for that. There's no point in arguing that. But the thing that really frustrates me, and I think one thing in the matchup that really we're not really looking at for me, is the fact that cannons are detectors that fill both the attacking air and ground role, and turrets can only attack air. So in the mid to late game, when your army's out of position and a good Protoss player like warps in 4 DTs and sends like 1 or 2 of them to each of your bases and they sneak by, like even if you have missile turrets in position, you have to have forces there ready to deal with the DTs, and if you don't, you're gonna lose a fuck ton of SCVs.
Taylor, do you think it would be balanced?
Fortress.
Do you think it would be
Okay,
balanced?
but that- I
if
mean,
missile
that-
turrets shot ground. Would you like missile turrets to shoot?
No. I'm saying that the difference in the 2 defensive structures and the way they work, cannons in the mid and late game are more than capable of dealing with Banshees. They can thwart Banshees relatively easily, and missile turrets do not. They detect the DTs, but your SCVs are still getting one shot all over the place, and you're scrambling to pull your army in different directions to try and deal with these DTs. And it's the amount of effort required to send 2 DTs to each of the Terran's bases and let them do their thing while you macro and maybe take another expansion or whatever you're up to, and the payoff of the DTs in the mid and late game is unreal.
If I make a planetary fortress and a single missile turret at a base,
Okay, but I'm not going to have
small
a
army.
planetary at all my bases. Bar none, 2 of my bases are going to be orbitals, period. And most likely my third is going to be an orbital, unless it's like Zelnaga or a map where I know that I can get a PF at like a really key location. It's probably going to be an orbital.
Whose fault is that?
Well, I mean,
I have to choose between mules and planetary fortress.
Exactly. sometimes you need that third orbital worth of mules to win,
You're gonna
man.
make Donnie cry. Like he's having a migraine.
That's real
The
shit.
meltdown is happening right now, and Jeff, it's not Taylor's fault. It's your fault for bringing this up again.
I have to make it into an orbital command. If I'm using all my energy on mules, I don't have any detection, man.
Well, it's not detection that's the problem. It's that in the mid and late game you don't have your army like positioned at your individual bases. That's the issue. If I could put 2 cannons at each of my orbitals and have
and then you don't have Kadarian Amulet, and then 4 Marauders get dropped, and you're like, LOL, why do you waste 300 minerals on 2 cannons?
Bunker with 4 or 6 Marines can literally shoot both ground and air. Are you complaining that that's going to chew up like 4 Marines outside your bio army? Is going to hurt your army composition tremendously, or?
Well, I mean, now we're talking about like seriously fortifying all of your expansions.
Just static defenses.
Same price as 2 cannons. Spend 300 minerals, build a turret, a
Tyler,
bunker,
get your
put
math
like
out.
2 Marines in there.
No.
Seems like an awful lot of work for just thwarting a couple DTs at one expansion.
Oh my god.
It's just like,
It seems like a lot of work.
You're not even going to necessarily be able to cover like your entire mineral line with the bunker either.
Alright, you're
I
not
had to
real.
compose
And
myself.
to be honest, man, 4 DTs fucking cleave a bunker anyway. I've made bunkers.
4 DTs.
Yeah.
That's 500
What do 400 Banshees, 4 Banshees do to
Banshees do
a
not.
cannon?
Well, they can kill 1 cannon.
Sure.
But
2 cannons can't defend a Nexus anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, is that your cannons are automatically going to have a pylon there, and you're just going to warp in stalkers immediately. So it's like,
Wait.
it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to warp in a couple stalkers right off the bat. I mean, it's not like I would need like 8 Banshees to fucking do the kind of damage that 4 DTs could do. Honestly, I think this whole argument like boils down to the fact that I play Terran and you guys play Koss. Like,
we don't have
we're not gonna see eye to eye on this. Like, you guys can giggle and laugh, and fucking snarl as much as you want, but it
There's
doesn't
gonna
make
be a
any
pylon
difference.
there.
Like,
You're gonna warp units.
yeah, I'd warp in stalkers if I saw a fucking Banshee killing one of my cannons. Wouldn't you? Like, what?
I would F10N, man.
That sounds like a lot of work, though. You gotta to do a lot of clicking. To
All right.
If you make a bunker and a turret at one of your expos and you see the bunker, honestly, you could just warp in 4 DTs, run up, cleave the bunker down, kill the 4 Marines instantly, and then just start killing SCVs. Like, that's totally plausible. Me sending 4 Banshees and killing 2 photon cannons and the stalkers that you warp in is not plausible.
Well, they'd have to have an observer there. After you kill the cannons, they can't
have to have an observer. We don't have scans.
No.
I don't know if you knew that. Nexus.
Wait. You don't have the ability to see anything you want? That's stupid. No, that's assuming you didn't spin
I'm gonna have to veto this because it's just turning into a
shit. We have so much else to talk about.
Yeah,
It's just turned into a troll thing. Jeff.
And this is a fucking age-old argument that dates back to Brood War when there weren't even Banshees. It was the same fucking bullshit, dude. I had to deal with that all the time. It's not like I was a great Brood War player, but I certainly lost my fair share of games to a DT drop or a couple DTs. And it was the same kind of dynamic. It's like you had turrets, but...
We will give you the final word, sir. JP, what did you say?
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, I thought you said Jeff. Were you just blaming me on that?
Well, yeah, that all was Jeff there.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Let's get back to the actual PTR changes. Stop talking about fucking
I'm going to announce a show
Banshees.
called Balance Part 2. It's going to be a DT and Banshee discussion. That's all it's going to be.
All right, Jeff, we'll have like our own debate forum on this at some point.
And join us next week with our special guest Taylor.
Yeah, but the rules are I get a fucking panel of Terran players, and you get a panel of Protoss players, and it's even numbers.
What Terran players agree with you?
I don't know. Throw anyone on my side. Natagast, Kawhi Rice, fucking... I don't know.
Kawhi Rice doesn't have opinions.
He does too. He's a very opinionated young man, actually.
He doesn't actually talk.
He's just super quiet, yeah.
So, let's get back on topic here.
He talks a lot online.
That remains to be seen. I don't know if that's true or not. Can't confirm. I was trying to get on that with you, PainUser, but can't confirm that. Zerg changes. PainUser, stop. Just stop. Zerg changes the Infestor, getting more HP. I think we talked about that in the leaked patch notes that Nanny Wall talked about. And he did talk about the fungal growth changes, but they weren't this detailed. The stun duration decreased from 8 to 4 seconds, 30% versus armored units, more damage increase. And it now fires a missile instead of being instant cast. Who wants to talk about this? I know Greg was pretty upset that when they changed fungal, the only reason they did that is so you couldn't actually blink out of it, and now you could just blink out of it because it's actually a pretty slow missile. So we'll throw this at Tyler to start off with.
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that. That's awesome.
What are your thoughts on the change to fungal growth? Really, the biggest one being the missile instead of being instant cast. Tyler.
That kind of sucks for Zerg, I think. I don't know why that's necessary. I guess it's going to do a lot of damage now, so they needed to balance it out somehow. But as far as the the damage change goes, I don't know. It feels like it won't actually be that bad for, Protoss dealing with it. But it's something I feel like I got to feel out. I can't just look at the numbers and be like, yeah, I know how that'll play out.
I mean, one of the things that they don't really talk about, the stun duration is 8 to 4 seconds. So does it continue to do damage when it comes out of stun?
What do you mean 8?
They decreased the duration from 8 to 4.
Okay.
They didn't mention the fact, is the damage still going? I
thought I read somewhere that it was a snare instead of a stun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at... I think that was in Naniwa's leaked PTR notes that he said a while back. Looking at the official ones, all it says, stun duration decrease, damage increase against armored, and it now fires a missile instead of being instant cast. So I don't see anywhere mentioning that it is a snare. But regardless, from a Terran perspective, PainUser, what are your thoughts?
I think it'll be a lot more devastating against Bio. So I will probably be using a lot more mech, but I already use a lot of mech against Zerg. I just think you're going to have to be really, really careful with your Marines. And I think that's kind of good for the matchup, because the way it plays out right now is you can kind of use your mech as just like this really stable backbone to your army that does a tremendous amount of damage, but it's really immobile. And then you can kind of just use your Marines as like little octopus arms to go around and kill hatcheries and snipe important units and kill a crap ton of Zerglings or roaches or whatever they have. The only fear you really have is the Banelings, and as long as you stay away from them and force them to come into the range of your tanks, it's issues for the Zerg. So giving them like a solid, viable counter to the Marines that are free-floating around on the map, kind of darting in and out of the cover of the mech, will give Zerg a much better fighting chance, I feel like. Because as is, the Zerg army maxed versus the Terran army is just like a complete fucking disaster for Zerg. I mean, it's bad. And I think it's the same way for Protoss, too. Like, once Protoss hits a specific unit composition, like that Void Ray, Colossus, gateway ball, it gets kind of ridiculous, too, for Zerg. There's just not a lot that they can do. So, yeah, I think... I also heard somewhere that it might be like a bomb kind of thing, as opposed to like an instacast AE DOT that stuns. It would be like they cast it on a patch of ground, and then it delays for a tick, and then it goes off. So they can like precast the fungal growth and try and anticipate your army moving on top of it, and then it goes off. And that, I think, would be a lot better than the missile thing. But the increased DPS, I think, makes it really effective, even against Protoss. Like, if you can deal significant damage to the Zealots and the Sentries, and whatever Stalkers he doesn't manage to blink out of the way...
It's only armored units, though. Only armored.
Okay.
So
it has to be the Stalkers?
Stalkers and Colossus, and Void Ray, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, if it's actually doing the damage in 4 seconds instead of 8, then really, once you land the first one, it's easier to land the next one.
Yeah, that could be brutal.
It's doing double DPS,
And that's something they didn't state. I haven't seen...
and it's also doing 30% more against armored, so it's double DPS straight up, as long as you have enough energy to keep casting them, then 30% more. It could be actually really devastating once you get caught once, and then if he has maybe like 4 or 5 of them to cast, then all your shit's dead.
So I think maybe EMP and feedback will be like a staple in the matchup.
Yeah,
it'll be like a necessity.
Yeah,
be a lot of little like caster wars, kind of like how PvT plays out sometimes. With like a lot of EMP feedback war type stuff, and I think that'll probably go down. Although, if they got neural pairs, actually that wouldn't really do anything.
I know Idra commented on Infestor health being bumped up 90 to 110, I believe. Yeah. And he's like, well, that won't really matter. Perhaps feedback true for ZVT, but if it starts coming to feedbacks in ZVP, then 20 health difference can make a difference. I mean, a lot of times you can't just like insta-kill it. They don't have enough energy, so the feedback doesn't do enough damage, but 20 more health to work with will make it easier to put infestors out there with, about 100 energy, and if it gets feedbacked, well, at least you can save it for later.
Well, the whole point of feedbacking it is to prevent the fungal, right? If it dies, that's like an added bonus.
Well, yeah, but it would just be like, I don't know, you don't want like landing a feedback to be too strong, to do too many things at once. It's like, okay, you land the feedback, it doesn't have energy, he can't fungal you right now. If it also kills the infestor, then he has to spend resources on remaking it and waiting until it gets energy, whereas if he just drops its energy and it stays alive, well then he has to wait, but he doesn't have to spend more money.
Yeah, it would feel like an EMP-ish kind of role in the ZVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff, you've been kind of quiet on the subject of the Infestor change. What are your thoughts on it?
The movie The Chronicles of Riddick comes to mind at the end, where the guy moves super, super freaking fast, but Riddick predicts where he's going to be and then has the knife there, and the guy actually teleports into the knife. So the 1 or 2 times my blink stalkers do get caught by that stupid projectile, I'm going to have that movie running through my head like, well played. Now we'll sit here for 8 seconds and kill you with the rest of my army. I'm not entirely sure if I understand the DPS stuff. Like, if it takes I think it does the same amount of damage over a longer period of time, so I think it's actually
shorter.
Wouldn't it be?
No,
shorter
time, half the time.
So the stun is only 4 seconds as opposed to 8?
It's
Yes.
essentially double damage per second plus an added bonus to armored.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would take the stun effect over the damage, to be honest. Like, nobody's looking to do 35 massive damage. Like, I mean, okay, they are, obviously. That's an awesome added bonus. If they remove that, Zergs would be up in arms, but for a good reason. But I think the fact that they're able to freeze a unit is what they primarily use it for. The damage is nice. I think in ZVT, actually, as I say this, they do more for the damage against Marines because they're so low health. But, like, no one's looking to freeze a flock of stalkers and like kill them with purely infestors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's very like anti-Protoss ball. So you're moving around. You have your stalkers underneath your Colossus with some sentries there. If he lands one, which you can blink away from and leave your sentries and Colossus there all by themselves, then I don't know. You're pretty effed. It would be pretty rough. You have to be spread out, and on some of these maps where you think, oh, it's a Protoss map because it has narrow alleyways and stuff like that. Well, it wouldn't be anymore because then, you can't move around in a ball.
I think you're right. I think I could see people going Templar purely for feedback, which would be interesting. I used to go DTs into Archons for the late game, and now I probably will just have to go Templar into Archons.
Some of the other changes, just kind of getting away from the actual balance changes, there were some changes to the Observer and Replay UI, and I think this is the guys over at glhf.tv. Let me bring this up on the desktop cam. Skip around here. They do have some different Observer things. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but to me it looks really impressive simply because Blizzard's the only people that could actually go in and do something like this. An MLG, a GSL, a ESL, or a NASL couldn't go in and actually get live feedback within the game going into a kind of a motion graphic, kind of like Blizzard is doing. You can also take away the entire bottom portion, which is pretty cool. It has an animated type of graphic that you just saw down here. And one of the things I wanted to pose to you guys is, will it be a good thing in the fact that all tournaments will generally look the same and use the same tools? Or is this going to be a thing that will kind of be bad in the sense that tournaments aren't going to be able to differentiate themselves from each other?
I mean,
They can still use overlays, can't they?
Oh, yeah, you could still put overlays on it. So they could still put like an MLG logo or however that wants to go. But, I mean, the new Blizzard stuff, it looks better than anything any organization has actually done. Anyone got thoughts?
I think it's a good thing. It just looks more professional, and the camera work seems better, right? So it's just going to increase the production value of people that don't have high production. I think for the bigger tournaments, it might be a dampering thing for now, right?
Right. Tyler, you got any thoughts or PainUser?
I mean, it's pretty. I don't really have like a valuable opinion on it.
All right. Well,
it's kind of whatever.
If anything, people who didn't know about it now know about it. Some of the other stuff, loss counts are no longer displayed in the profile and ladder pages for players below Master League. Does that make... Jeff,
wait, really?
Yeah. So you guys don't read the fine print.
Even like in the ladder, you look at their division, there's just no losses. There's no loss column. It's just how many wins they have.
Blizzard is so... God. They're so nice
I feel like
newbies. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I feel like there's like a division at Blizzard, like solely their sole purpose is to just like make people
you guys are freaking out
terrible at the game feel comfortable.
You guys are freaking out over that. There is another change where if you are getting close to being supply capped, or you're about to miss a Chrono Boost Mule or Larva Inject, there is a pop-up that happens on the screen and will tell you that you're about to miss it.
But that's for the lower leagues, right?
I think that's across the board.
What?
No, that can't be right.
Let me try and find this, because Idra was talking about how he was
disking us again. You're spreading lies.
Well, that would make me like a fucking trillion times better. Because I have some serious issues with supply depots. It's like the bane of my existence.
Yeah, and
I think a lot of
huge
it has
cooldown on mules is so hard to overcome when you just save up energy. It's like, fuck, I saved up energy. I
Oh,
can't.
no, here it is. Here, this is it. An alert has been added when mules expire, Chrono Boost buff expires, and Spawn Larva buff expires.
That's got to be selectable, and it should be required that you don't play with that in tournaments or something.
I don't think that really, like... is
The
a
alert
big
thing
deal.
is, like, not that intrusive, though. It's like...
I think that would help.
Yeah, it just says on the left side or something. It's not like this is going to ruin the game. I'm not looking at that and being like, oh my god. I just think it's so stupid. I think, like, it's moving away from rewarding the players that do that stuff.
I mean, at
totally
the same
agree.
time, it's going to bring more people into the community of StarCraft 2, more people playing the game, and also it's going to field more people watching you guys play in the pro level. Is it
It's
not?
going to benefit
absolutely.
you guys a lot more, too.
Please, don't hear what I'm saying is like some complaint. I just think it's hilarious. Like the removal of losses in the divisions. How
Is that
bad
really a
do you have
big
to
thing,
be?
though?
No, listen, I'm not complaining about it. I think it's, like I said, I just got done saying it's funny. Like, it's literally hilarious. Like, what player is so bad that they're like, I'm 15 wins strong, or like, look, honey, I only wins.
Yeah, but
like,
not only that, like just the nature of competing in general. Like you're playing 1 versus 1, you're playing 2 versus 2, you're competing. You get wins, you get losses. People keep track of that shit. It's like that's how you differentiate players' skill levels. Like people don't walk around in tennis and like other sports just like toting how many wins they have. I mean,
well, that's what I think is funny is that at the lowest of the divisions, they're literally like, okay, you guys are so terrible that it's not even about the competition. You just want to like, we're going to help you psychologically block out the fact that you get time in and time again pummeled by people that are equally as terrible. Like,
yeah,
okay, I mean that's fine. I just think those are weird changes. Like soon, there's going to be a separate win screen for bronze players. Like they win a game, and it's going to like do a
Congrats,
like
and give you a
Connect
thumbs up.
webcam video of them doing a celebration sped up or something like that.
The thing that like I really don't understand is like why Blizzard would be focusing on shit like this as opposed to like integrating a very simple form of IRC into Battle.net with like actual channels and like
that's where most of the
mods
people are. Is why bronze.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're in the business of making money, and they're going to make money by kind of feeding to the masses, not to the people who want an IRC channel, which is like an age-old, 20-year-old or however old it is, communication device.
Oh, so fucking giant pop-up windows that pop up like per person is a more modern form of communication than IRC. Like
to the average person,
know.
yeah.
I don't know about that. I think it would be really easy for them to implement, and like
if we're airing grievances, my only one with Battle.net is that more than one person can't watch a replay.
Yeah,
there
you go.
I have no
perfectly good example.
idea where the logic is with that. In fact, I think it's counter-logical. I think
Giving lessons to
Taylor,
students.
JP, and I watching a replay that someone played a really cool game or watching together creates a community. It connects people. It makes them more loyal to the Blizzard product. I think it creates it like heightens the like. There's so many people that are terrified to play a ladder game, but would watch 35 replays if they could.
Yeah,
and they'd invite their friends. They'd watch it with their clan. They'd sit down and watch it with a coach or whoever.
Yeah, a coach.
I don't know what logic in Blizzard. They're like, okay, guys, in the Battle.net for Brood War, we had them watching replays together. What are our thoughts on that? Who raised their hand and was like, I want it gone. I think it's stupid.
Did they actually announce that was going to be in initially?
No, it's swept under the rug.
Well, I mean, there might be a technical reason why they can't actually do it. I
think
don't
they're
really
still
know,
intending to do it, but
I mean, who knows? There might be a really obscure reason why it's not in there yet, and we
I
just
hope
don't
it's
know
the
about
thing where like they broke the Phoenix for a patch, and then it took them 4 months to fix that. I hope that it's just so ridiculous that once they fix it, I'll completely forgive them because
It'll
I'm
be
so
funny
happy
by that time.
Yeah, they fixed it. That's it.
Yeah. So, if you want to go check out all of the patch changes, there was quite a lot. Just go over to teamliquid.net. The thread is called Patch 1.3 on PTR, and you can read it all there and also join in on the 144 pages, good lord, of comments that people posted on that. But we're going to move along as there is still, good lord, there's a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and just jump straight to the GSL. It is in full swing right now. And the only foreigner that still actually exists in Code A is Huck. Everyone else has been knocked out. And I just want to get the Protoss players here, and also Taylor's thoughts on that. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
On Huck?
On Huck being the only foreigner, or some of the other foreigners. Yeah, I mean, you watch the games, I think, so.
Yeah, well, Huck is playing really well. I think everyone agrees with that, although I wasn't completely comfortable with the way he played his last Code A match, but we'll see how that playstyle works out.
Did he do it again, the Zealot Sentry thing?
Well, he's only played that one game.
He hasn't played. Yeah, he hasn't played his next round yet.
They're still in the round of 32.
When's his next round?
Sometime this week, I think. I think they're wrapping. Code S is actually wrapping up tonight, and I think Code A is wrapped up.
Okay.
Which game, Tyler? The Metalopolis game or the
both
Tal'Darim game?
Well, mainly the Tal'Darim game, his opening. I mean, the Metalopolis game, he just kind of rolled the Zerg here.
Yeah.
Did a bad build. It was an okay move on Metalopolis. I thought it was better on Metalopolis, but it was still, I still didn't really like it. And on Tal'Darim, you could kind of see more how it was sloppy and how it wouldn't work in a lot of cases. But, I mean, still, overall, he's playing really well. Everyone, I think, agrees with that. So he deserved to win round of 32 at Code A. That's pretty straightforward, I think. But
the guy he played was pretty terrible.
Well, yeah. He was.
What about your teammates Hater and Rhett? As they were eliminated, you got any thoughts on their games, Tyler?
Nah.
It is what it is.
They're not Protoss, so I can't really judge
their play,
professionally opinion, you know. So other than that, it's just unfortunate because I know that they both have the ability to go farther than that. They both have the talent in them to go farther than that. So it's just a bummer to see that they didn't get to.
Taylor, did you watch a lot of the Code A games with all the foreigners? All right.
I was
Spill the beans, Taylor. Whoops, that's
rooting for Rhett. I was talking with Rhett before and after his matches. He was super sick and unmotivated. He had been sick for 3 weeks while he was out in Korea, not really practicing that much. So that really sucks because I know what Rhett is capable of. He's an absolute beast when he's playing really well, and I felt like he had game 2 cold. I felt like he had a huge advantage on Tal'Darim, and he let the Terran push all the way to his natural without engaging him once, and he crossed the entire map. And then Rhett's resupply line was 2 inches before reaching the tanks, and there's nothing he could do once he lost his army. But the Terran he played was really, really good. That guy on Boxer's team was super solid. He played really well, and I was really impressed. So it sucks that Rhett ran into somebody that talented that early on. And then on Huck's getting really good, man. He was always good. He's super dedicated. He puts in a lot of time. I don't know if he's necessarily the most... Actually, he's pretty creative. I was gonna say not necessarily the most strategical player, but he's pretty creative. He does things that are out of the box from time to time, and he's just good all around. And he's putting in a lot of time, and it's paying dividends, and he's performing. So I think he's gonna continue to go far because he tries really hard. He's got that fire. You can tell when you talk to him, man. He's about his StarCraft. So that's how you have to be. So. Yeah, I see him doing really well. He's got really solid work ethic, and he's good. So I see him going far.
Jeff, of the Code A that you've watched, what are your thoughts on a lot of the players there?
Well, we talked about Huck's match last day of the game.
Yeah.
And
I'm just speaking in general, kind of Code A as a whole, not so much the foreigners.
Yeah, I think Haypro ran into a really tough opponent. Gonzi's a big Brood War pro, and he played really, really well. Just got outplayed, so it's kind of weird because only like a season prior, almost all the Code A matches right up until the finals were like huge jokes, and now they're already pretty high level. There's still a smattering of pretty terrible players like the guy Huck played. And then Rhett, kind of a heartbreaker there. Like I think Taylor gave pretty dang good analysis. Just once he got into the production line, there was no coming back from that. But it was a misplay by Rhett too. He's played a lot of Brood War. He knows that when a guy's got that kind of army composition, you got to engage him along the way and just wash over them in your unit count and just outproduce them basically. And I think one of the Rhett's big shortcomings as a player is actually he's too safe. Like. He is too macro. He is too like he will literally he'll push it to the limit as far as like how safe / macro oriented he'll play. And I mean I feel like he needs to shake it up a little bit and be a little bit more aggressive with his play. And actually, as I say that, he's done that a few times even in these Ghost Coaching Premier League matches I've watched. He's actually been doing like 2-hatch roach ling stuff, which just blows me away. But it was disappointing that those guys are all out. And I don't even really want to talk about the other ones. They were pretty nonplussed to me.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move straight to the Code S. Probably the biggest thing to come out of Code S thus far is that Boxer and Nest T are already out, and they were out by the hands of one San Zenith, formerly San Zenith, his new team. I forgot the actual name of it. But this is a guy that really was not impressive whatsoever at all in last season, and he made it into Code S, I believe, or he might have stayed in Code S, and he took out two of the biggest players, really. Nesty for sure, one of the biggest players. Boxer just one of the most well-known players. I want to know, did any of you guys actually watch that series specifically?
No.
Taylor, did you?
What was that again?
The Boxer Nesty group where San took them both out.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I think they both definitely deserve to be in there. And, I mean, that's just fucking StarCraft, man. On any given day, anybody can knock anybody else out. It happens. And those guys are definitely good enough to stick around. So, I don't know. They'll probably be back. Boxer might retire, though, to be honest.
You think? Even after all? I mean, he's gotten so many sponsors for his team.
Well, yeah, he might, step back and take, like, a management role kind of thing. I mean, he's put in his work, dude. It's like Michael Jordan coming back for like a third season. You know? It's not 100% necessary.
It's true. Tyler, did you happen to catch those games, or do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Boxer, I don't think he's going to be that strong of a player long term. StarCraft 2, kind of expecting results like that, and if he starts playing really solid and really well, that's what will surprise me. Not when he gets eliminated in the group state in a group like this. So San Zenith played really well. Artosis was really surprised the whole time.
I've been spreading this everywhere. Artosis started out that cast saying that if San makes it out of the group or wins the group, I think were his exact words, he would. I have to say that. Jesus, I don't know what that was, but he will swallow his sword. A swirly sword is what he said specifically. So we need to make that happen. Go tweet at Artosis on Twitter.com. Remind him if you guys want to see that on the GSL. I'm sure it won't ever happen, but he's got to be a man of his word. Code S, I think, is continuing on tonight, so you can tune into that. I totally forgot the fact that with the new patch came new maps. And we just kind of breezed over that subject, so I want to return to that for just a little bit. We'll start off with Tyler on this. Let's talk a little bit about Shatter Temple and Slag Pits, and I just want to get your thoughts on them.
Shatter Temple is good. I think most people have that opinion of it, that it's a good modification to LT. Of course, everyone can still recognize that it's LT, so there's still the recognition there with the classic map. And, whoa, Jeff, microphone problems.
I just muted back. I don't know, it might be Skype readjusting or something.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not me, man.
Better.
It's Skype.
Jeff is just trolling us, Tyler.
I
Continue.
actually muted myself to talk to Russ. And type
Small
on the
airplane
keyboard.
flying around.
I'm growing.
It's already on it.
the two hover propellers.
Tyler, if it was a
Fucking
banshee, my
going
house
off.
exploding and me dying, it would not.
Well, it sounds like it's already adjusted there. So, Tyler, continue on, please.
So what was the other map you wanted?
Slag pits. Before we move on to the other two.
That's the one that can have really short rush distances.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Shorter
that's
than
terrible.
Steps of War.
It's shorter than Steps of War.
We needed
That
I
that.
don't buy that for a second.
Are you kidding me?
I don't buy that.
Oh, God.
Taylor, stand up out of your chair, all 7 feet 6 of you.
Dude, I'm not
Lay
gonna
across the
stand
map
up.
slag pits, and your fingertips are touching the other guy's mineral lines.
No, there's no way it's shorter than steps.
I know that
It is
you
if you
get
spawn
nice-
it like
Positions.
if you spawn at 9 and 6, it is, yeah. Or
Taylor,
or
you like
12 and
blindly deny math with banshees and DTs, but this has gone too far. Map is smaller, man. It just
Dude, I might be thinking of
The wrong map.
mixing the maps up. Yeah, I don't think I'm thinking of the same map as you guys because there's no way it's
Let me link you just so we can get some
What map are you thinking?
clarifications.
How do we answer that question?
the one with this like the sunken pit in the center, the huge
No, that's
sunken
it.
pit.
You got no
in
excuse.
Guanzhou Naga Tower.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
You got no
That's
excuse.
That map is awesome.
You know why?
Why?
Because your banshees can cloak outside your
No,
base.
I think that map is like I don't know. To me, it makes a lot of sense. It's like symmetrical. It's
You go mech
sexy,
on it?
It's wide open. No,
No, man, he proxy Rax is on that map.
You don't
yeah,
proxy
all
racks.
day.
You build the base of your ramp.
That's what I mean, Jeff.
Taylor,
It's
it's
really
smaller
that
than
short?
Step 4, man.
Man, yeah, I don't know. I guess I haven't like been rushed yet on that map. Really, I've been like aggressively expanding pretty safely and holding a lot of early pressure.
You played like what 4 games on it though, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
pretty much the extent.
There you go.
I don't think anybody's played that many though.
No, I'm not picking you out of it. I mean, everyone. You're absolutely right. It's not like I'm like, well, I've played 14 games. I'm just saying. It's actually that small.
Well, Jeff, since you've played, since you've played 14 games rather, what are your thoughts on Shattered Temple and Slag Pits?
I like Shattered Temple. I think it's hilarious because it's literally made through the lens of a Zerg. They're like, okay, let's look at this map. What was giving Zergs a hard time? Cliffs, get them out of here. I hate that crap. Island expansions, alright, let's make those Destructible Rock expansions. The middle was too confined. Let's open that crap up. Nope, open it more. And then, okay, expansions had too small of a choke, so people were force fielding them, or, Zergs couldn't attack because they'd get narrowed down. Let's open that crap up. And done. I name it Zerg Temple, and someone's like, that's too obvious. And they're like, okay, Shattered Temple. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I like it. I know that's a hugely biased report, but I like it. I think some of these maps were just way too hard for Zerg, and I think that this is a necessary change. Specifically the cliffs. I don't know if I like the islands. That's like way too many expansions accessible on that map, in my opinion. Like, you start off in either corner, and you either have the Shakira's Plateau back alleyway, which is super hard for a Zerg to deal with, or you have a 4-base somebody, like
Yeah,
actual 4-base selection.
I totally agree, man. It creates super hectic macro games with a lot of expansions, especially in PvT. Like, if you spawn cross map on the new temple, it gets crazy. There's a lot of readily available expos for both players,
Yep.
and they're easily defendable.
Well, especially the back Destructible Rock one. Unless you're in quote-unquote close positions, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, he's never getting there. I guess I just do whatever I want there. So, I don't know. I like it. I think it's an improvement, like I said.
Coming back with the other two maps, Backwater Gulch and I don't know what Typhon Peaks is actually. I feel like it should be Typhoon, and that was just an error. But what are your thoughts on those two maps, Jeff?
I think Backwater Gulch is like the replacement to Blistering Sands, and I think it's a good replacement. I think it's an interesting dynamic with like the mega ramp down into the super confined, like tunnely low ground, and then back up into the plateaued mega ramp of the main base. And then there's like 2 Destructible Rock entryways into that expansion. So I think they like the Destructible Rock entryway idea, so you can't like super defend one place, but they're not so far apart that it changes things dramatically. So I'm not quite sure the dynamic. I mean, of course, time will tell. And then the low ground is so narrow and so confined that I can't help but to feel like this is a bad map for Zerg again. And then with the 2 golden expansions that are literally like a stone's toss away from each other, this strikes me as like a tremendous Terran map in that regard. Like, you can never take the gold expansions on this map, and a Terran could, and now they have middle control. And with that tight alleyway, as long as they're adding some kind of mech to their play, I feel like it's pretty bad for the other races. But again, we'll see how that plans out. And then I'm sure I'll like to hear Taylor's response to that. But Typhon, like I was saying earlier, is super mega big, and I like it. I feel like it gives you room to breathe and play a really high-level game. And there's a lot of expansions, so it rewards the people that are scouting those out. One of my only fears is, again, in any of the main base spots, you're pretty much given access to 3.5 expansions right away. You've got your natural, you've got this low ground natural thing, and then you've got that I don't know what to call it, the Axis expansions, in the two top or the top and the bottom expansions.
And then you got that kind of ninja little like back alley to your natural.
So I mean, it's got cool elements, but it's again pretty confined. Like I feel like as a Protoss, I like it because, like I said, it's got long distance between the bases. But I don't know if I fear a Zerg on there at all because you have like 3 force fields to block off their entire attack in any direction. I feel like.
PainUser or Tyler, what are your thoughts on these other 2 maps? Whoever wants to jump in first.
I guess I'll hop in there. I really like the
like a Reaper. Just
hop right in there. The Typhon Peaks map I like. It does lead to some pretty interesting macro games, and there's that ninja back tunnel to the natural that like nobody is really exploiting yet, or walling for that matter. I was playing a couple of practice games with a friend and kept running speedlings in that little like back alleyway and running speed banelings in and blowing up all my SCVs. So I finally started double rack swallowing that, but I think the maps are super dynamic. They got pretty crazy with the destructible rocks. There's fucking destructible rocks everywhere.
That's
Blizzard's
maps. Answers to map making, really. So.
Right? Just drop some rocks here, some rocks over here.
Exactly.
I feel like that one map with the 2 like adjacent golds and the
you're talking about Backwater Gulch in the center.
Yeah, Backwater Gulch, and then it has that like Jeff was talking about, that crazy like network of mid ground, high ground main, mid ground natural, low ground mid kind of thing. That map is super hectic. The corridors are all really tight, and the destructible rock entrances to the natural, and then there's like all these tertiary bases on the side. It just gets really crazy, and there's not a lot of room to maneuver around. So I've been kind of playing around with mech on that map, and I feel like it's pretty strong, but that's only because there's just so little room to maneuver around with your bio, and especially against TOS, like on a map like that, force fields are just even more potent when there's little corridors everywhere and little chokes everywhere. So I obviously am not a huge fan of that map. I don't know what the other race opinions are on it, but I like Typhon, and I actually like the Slag Pits map quite a bit. I've had some really, really, really good games on that map. But I don't think I've had people that are trying to like exploit the fact that they know the rush distance is so small, because for me it's like a little bit deceiving. I guess maybe if you do get the 6 and 9 spawns, I could see it like ramp to ramp. It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean that.
So I could see it kind of being an issue, but like I don't know. I've had really good games on that map, and I've liked it so far. It's a little bit hard to take a third. The only real available thirds are like the golds, and then short of taking another main, you don't really have any options. So it kind of creates this dynamic where both players are on 2 base for a little while, and you get like a a pretty big army, and then usually there's a pretty fun engagement somewhere on the middle of the map or on one of the edges of the Xel'Naga Tower. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the maps.
Tyler, Backwater Gulch and Typhon Peaks, your opinion real quick?
Well, my colleagues said a whole lot, and I don't think I have much to add, so I'll just leave it at that.
All right, short and sweet as always. There is so much to actually talk about. We're going to probably mention the IEM groups being announced, but we're going to mention the GCPL TSL DreamHack and some other stuff. Save that for next week's episode, as this is going on for quite some time now. But real quick, of course, IEM is going to be starting tonight, and we'll go ahead and look and preview the brackets a little bit, or the group play.
So sick.
Oh, you already saw them? Jeff, why don't you take the lead here, and I'll show the actual matches, and you can kind of comment on why it's going to be so sick.
Well, tonight, I mean, it's actually, of course this is going to... Never mind, I won't even go that route. But with the first day, we have QXC, Morrow, White Raw, Tarson, Idra, and Ace playing. And I that's like... First of all, the group has perfect symmetry with the race balance. 2 Zergs, 2 Protoss, 2 Terran. 2 Terrans. And awesome dynamic. Like, Tarson is this underrated European Terran that not a lot of people hear about, but is actually so dang good. Mm-hmm. Especially TVP. Everyone should watch out for his TVP in this group. I guarantee you some heads will roll. Morrow and Idra in the same group. It's like it's been... You couldn't
yeah.
You could not, create a better scenario. Those two guys... I don't know how Morrow feels about Idra, but Idra's so outspoken about Morrow.
It's actually kind of funny. I was talking to Morrow the other day about that, and he was kind of laughing about the whole thing. I don't think he has any ill...
he kind of laughs about everything. He
what's the deal? I missed this whole thing. I saw the IEM.
It's just Idra being Idra. That's
there's not story there.
It's Reapers and whatnot. Shenanigans.
Yeah, Reapers and whatnot. One of the super famous foreigner Protoss that, like, every tournament he goes into, he's just, like, so polite and courteous, and then he tears it up. Like, I can't wait to see him play.
Yep.
QXC, a guy who I think because he's from the NA ladder, he's not really quiet. Like, he entered one TSL and then won it, I think, or one TSL Open rather. I can't wait to see how he plays. Yeah, from Assembly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sound like a fanboy, and that's probably because I am. This whole group is like just insanely exciting. The first match is QXC versus Idra.
Yeah.
And Morrow versus Tarson, and Ace versus
Ace versus White Raw. I'm really looking forward to watching that. Simply because Ace destroyed Squirtle the other day in the IMS. Squirtle's someone who had a lot of fans after the GSL Team League, and now he'll be playing against White Raw, kind of probably one of the, if not the best Protoss coming out of Europe.
It is, yeah. I don't think anyone would make an argument that someone's better than White Raw.
The other thing is that ESL had the kindness of saving Morrow versus Idra as the last match for day one. So people over here in America will be able to catch that if you're up, or if you're not on a gamer schedule, so to speak. I think it's going to be going live at like 9:45 our time, is what the rough estimate was.
Oh, is it?
Tyler? Yeah.
PST?
That's Central, so 7:45 PST.
I'll wake up for that. And this is all free broadcast, right? It's like
yeah, the low quality is free broadcast. No Octoshape was how they worded it. So I don't know if that was a jab at MLG or what.
Well, that's good. That means it'll work for me. Octoshape doesn't work for me.
Really? I wasn't...
It doesn't work for me either, man.
All right, well...
I think ESL has used Octoshape in the past.
I think they used it last season, but this is actually where this season started last year. It was at CBIT, now that I think about it. And then day 2, we've got... tomorrow we've got Sock, Moonglade, or Zake, Moonglade, Squirtle, Moon, Phoenix, and Show. Tyler, looking at that group, who really stands out in your mind?
I think Zaka is a pretty solid player. Phoenix stands out. Squirtle.
I can't believe his name is Squirtle, man.
Yeah, funny name. I don't know what to think about Moonglade or Moon.
Moonglade's
Moon-
got this huge fan base. It's interesting. He's like one of the nicer
Yeah.
guys you'll ever see.
He's almost kind of the savior, so to speak, of the SEA.
Moonglade is he is good. We used to, like, in the early phases of the beta, we used to play hundreds and hundreds of games together, and that's when we were both like, trying to like come up and actually get good at StarCraft. I'm pretty sure he came from Warcraft. And he's like a really solid player, and he's really gotten a lot better than even the level we were at, and exceeded my level quite a bit, because we play like pretty frequently. And he's out there in Korea doing the Huck thing, just beasting out thousands of ladder games. So I think he's going to do really well. If
He
not at
lost
this
Cody
event.
too, by the way. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah, he did. Those Koreans, man. Sniping people.
Indeed, they are sniping people. Moon coming out, is he really the best? I mean, is he a representative of South Korea right now? I didn't think
Big
he
fan
was.
base. Big fan.
I mean, he does have a huge
Yeah,
fan base, so
he has
that
the
might
fans.
be the reason why the
They had to pick
invite.
people that weren't in the GSL as well. So
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
you have a smaller people. Like I think they picked the best people given what the qualifying
Right. Right.
factors. You could not pick
Well, of course they
an IM MVP at the time, who of course now
Yeah.
could play.
which is insane. But also, they got the best Korean in Idra, clearly. I know a lot of people were upset that that Idra got a Korean invite after being DQ'd or something like that from the USA qualifier that QXE won. But whatever, people are probably
What was
going
he
to be...
DQ'd for though? Wasn't it like he was late or something though? It wasn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He didn't like be... Not to...
Yeah, it wasn't like
He didn't like
did
go
it.
up to one of the refs and be like, "You fucking suck" or anything like that. It was just that he didn't show
Well,
up
he
for a
might have.
match, I think. So
I mean, he might have done that, but he was disqualified. But
Jeff, here I am trying to save some light for your player, and you just said
that's
he might
what
have
he's
done
famous
that.
for.
All right, fair enough. Trying to think. Do you guys want to make some predictions, maybe on who's gonna?
Yeah, let's do it. Start with
Tyler.
Taylor.
Why'd you just hit your webcam button, Tyler? That screws everything up.
Well, I want my Terran homies to do well. I hope QXC and Phoenix do well. Squirtle.
No. Phoenix. No, talk about the groups, right? Is that what we're doing?
No, just saying, like who's gonna be?
Oh,
Yeah, just in general, right?
Yeah.
put some skin on it. Do each group top two, right? Top two advance.
That's a lot of players, man. Honestly, I just want to see the games and see how it pans out, and I really want to see the Hydro Moro series crown a king of Zerg, the king
I'm
of
gonna
the
tell you right
Swarm.
now, it's gonna be lackluster.
You
You
think,
think
Jeff?
so?
It's a ZBZ.
that is true.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe this
fast
game Moro
spin.
has learned how to make roaches though. So
I'm gonna word this super carefully because I catch crap for this every time I ever discuss anyone doing things that's less than amazing. Morrow does not have that amazing of a ZBZ.
I don't
he
think you'll
has-
find an argument there.
No, you wait, JP. Don't make
Oh,
that-
you will. You will.
wait. Look at results. Look at his I mean, he's one of like 4 Zergs in all of Europe. He doesn't. It's not like I'm picking him out and being like, "You don't work hard enough. You're terrible." It's actually just that, given the environment and what he has as tools before him, or whatever. Maybe it's just the understanding of the matchup. He's just not that good at CBZ. It's certainly his worst matchup, and even moving beyond that, he's just not that good at it. And I'm not saying this. I got to say this disclaimer. I hope everyone hears this. I have nothing against the guy. I don't think he's a bad player. He's an amazing player. I'll speak to the high heavens about how dang good his ZVP and ZVT is. I think he's a fantastic player. But when it comes to ZVZ, I will almost always favor the guy he's facing, as opposed to him. I think Brett made him look silly. He played Strife Crow, I think it was, in our last clan war. and
GCPL, yeah.
Strife Crow had no problem beating him, and he looked just outclassed the whole time. So I would be surprised if he gave Idra a good series.
I think Idra is going to probably have a grin on his face the entire time of that match, but that'll be going on here towards the end of the day over at IM. You can probably go find the full schedule over at teamliquid.net, see where that's going to factor into your local time zone. But I think that's actually going to do it for State of the Game. We will be talking about, of course, the GCPL playoffs next week. the fact that TSL is actually over, and there is going to be a playoff match on Saturday. So once that is finished and all done, we'll probably be talking about the brackets, as those are going to be released on Saturday as well. DreamHack just announced the tournament, so we'll be bringing that up next week, excuse me. And I gotta say, we stopped getting questions for some reason, and I'm not really sure what happened. So submit questions to sotgquestions@gmail.com or call the Google Voice hotline at 209-752-SOTG. We need questions, guys. We'd love to answer you guys' questions. We'll probably do 3 a show or something like that, but we didn't get any this week, so that's too bad.
Oh.
Start trolling JP like you guys troll Artosis on GSL.
Oh, they already do that. They already do that enough.
But you're smart enough to actually read the fucking names before you say them out loud on...
Well, I don't think Artosis is actually... Yeah, I mean, like you just said, I don't think he actually reads that. I don't think he has time to read those. He's just kind of reading what John gives him.
Yeah, they just throw it up in front of him. It's not Artosis' fault. And actually,
so
Artosis'
funny.
reactions to him...
It makes the interview.
It's what makes it, yeah, absolutely.
I mean...
I don't care about the interviews. Korean interviews are so boring, it's not even worth watching.
They really are.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest.
It's amazing.
John has been doing the interviews lately since Artosis isn't there every day. And most of the time, I'd go get a drink or something like that, because there's not any trolling questions or anything like that from the fans. So
it's terrible.
Maybe GSL could go back and change that. I'd be a fan of that. I'm sure a lot of people would be.
And it's funny, because the 1 or 2 Koreans that shake things up and they answer boldly, it like echoes through eternity on the forums. Like there's netizen remarks, there's FOMOs like, oh my god, so and so said they're better than somebody else. And Artos talking about it, but then every interview, how do you feel about your match? I practiced hard and played with my team and it went well. Good. Okay, what are you gonna do with the money? Invest it. Alright, well thanks man, congratulations. Thank you. And then they walk away.
So they all sound like Rhett, basically.
Well, I'm actually getting away from doing accents because
I see.
They don't do well.
They don't do well with the PR for yourself,
Nope.
Jeff. So it's good. Good on you.
So I did a timid voice. That was my timid impression.
Okay, so it's yes.
That
was the timid voice, not the Rhett voice.
They're too shy to say anything about it, so it's actually totally fun to make fun of them.
Jeez. All right, guys. You can follow State of the Game on Twitter at twitter.com/State of the Game. You can follow myself at twitter.com/HitMeJP. Hit me up on YouTube at youtube.com/HitMeJPTV. There will be no pre-show for this week, simply because of our first video show. It's a little bit rough to do a pre-game, since we were actually trying to make sure this was something that could happen. Review us on iTunes. Spread the show. You can find this, although you're going to know where you already found this, but we're trying to make it to where you can download either the audio portion or the video portion from Blip. So I'll try to kind of update you guys on where that stands. And Tyler, you got any shout-outs, promotion, anything like that?
Check out my stream, JustinTV/LiquidTyler. Check out TeamLiquid.net, and thanks to our sponsor, the Little App Factory.
Twitter. Do your Twitter. You got to take time to explain that.
Follow me on Twitter if you want. I'm actually posting stuff on Twitter, so it's kind of useful.
It's useful skill.
It's my full name, Tyler Washleski. So check it out.
Google that
Oh,
shit.
wow,
You can't
that's-
actually spell it, but
You're starting the manhunt. They gotta find out how to spell your name.
it's the gold at the end of the rainbow, isn't it, Tyler?
Yes.
PainUser, where can people find out more from you?
My streams over at JustinTV/PainUser. My Twitter's twitter.com/PainUser. I try and post stuff on my Twitter, but mostly on my Twitter it's like for live events and stuff. I'll post updates and stuff. And then check out my YouTube at youtube.com/StrapBunker. We post a lot of free guides and pick up a lot of clients for lessons and stuff from there. And shout out to Lazarus Gaming, my team, sweet sponsor, friends, family, StarCraft players. All up.
Jeff, the fat cat is on the screen, thus you must begin talking and promoting yourself. Where can people find more information about yourself?
Well, the list is growing. First and foremost, I want to thank my team, Evil Geniuses, sponsored by Intel SteelSeries, MSI Notebook, Kingston HyperX, Jinx Clothing, 100 million other things. cannot do it without them. Super looking forward to MLG Dallas. They'll be sending me, and I don't. The word announcement with me is so bad, but there's something super awesome that could happen at MLG Dallas involving.
Is that all announced?
Hang on, it's involving Anna. She could be there creating content. We're trying to work that out. So it's not going to be secret. It's just not official. So I hope that happens because she does a great job. It'd be really fun to see her there. You can follow me on Twitter, 88InControl. Please do add me. I tweet about everything. In Control TV on YouTube and In Control TV on Justin TV. It is the best stream on the entire planet. I think both these guys will agree. Yeah, you can see it in their eyes. They agreed. So those. That's fine.
My stream is the best stream.
Well, maybe.
Jeff, do you have ferrets? Do you have ferrets, Jeff?
You don't have ferrets, man.
Stupid. Tyler, tell them what ferrets smell like.
Oh God.
Oh, they're just wonderful, man.
They
live in my room and
they actually secrete a pheromone. It's terribly heinous.
You can get it removed, but it costs like $6,000 or something to get the glands
removed.
removed.
That's the winnings was getting his ferrets to not stink in. Also, I'll be at the GDC. Please do come say hi to me. It's in San Francisco. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'll be there with Russ, Captain NASL, Master of the World, and then the following week I'll be at PAX East accepting challenges in StarCraft 2. You think you can beat me, I will prove you wrong, and then gloat over the stuff that you have not won. I'm just kidding, it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be cast by DJ Wheaton. We're also doing a live State of the Game there, following a Day 9 Husky panel, and they're going to talk about StarCraft 2, so it's like the attractions are lining up. It's going to be super awesome. And then just as a reminder, we're coming up on tournament season, which is like the best time of my life. Probably all these guys' lives. We have the best time at MLG. Please do come introduce yourself to me. I would love to meet you. I really, really do love this community, and I would love to talk to everyone about it. And so don't be shy, like you can't talk to me or meet me. And then just as a final reminder, we're super excited about the NASL. Please do check it out. Vote for your favorite player at NASL.tv. I think the website's down right now, but do head out over there. And that's it, I think.
I have one more thing to say.
Check out sc2cast.com with an S. They have VODs and apps for the iPhone and Android, an amazing website.
Tyler.
I have to fit this in.
That's what she said.
Since it's not always easy too, man.
Yeah, that's
she
what
works
she said.
hard on that.
Oh my God.
Since we love Europe at State of the Game. Since we love Europe so much, this is what I just found on Wikipedia. Most pet ferrets in the US are sold descented and glands removed. In many other parts of the world, including the UK and other European countries, descenting is considered unnecessary.
Yeah.
So it's
Like
in your armpits.
It's a European thing. They just...
That could be where my bias is from, because Artosis actually owns a pair of ferrets. And they are charming, but they
cool.
come with an odor.
See, there's no foul odor here. There's just cuteness and lovability.
My buddy growing up had 2 ferrets, and they were straight rank.
Tyler used to have a leopard gecko. It's another thing we share. I owned a leopard gecko as well.
I still have a leopard gecko, the same one. They're long-living creatures.
How long has yours lived?
8 years.
Oh,
We got
okay.
it. We got
That's
it
normal.
very young when it had just been born, but
What's the name
still
of the
has a
gecko,
long way to
Tyler?
go. Zeke.
Mine was named Spike, and he lived to be 9 years old.
I don't know what else to say. We'll see.
Amazing pets.
Go buy yourself some ferrets. Some what was it?
Yeah,
It's
go
leopard
buy a
gecko.
ring-tailed lemur.
Okay. Support the pet. Have your cats spayed and neuter. I'm Bob Barker, and we'll see you guys next week. Let us know what you thought of the video show. It's still kind of a learning process for myself. Give us all the critiques you want, and I'll probably read a lot of them. So, see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. And also, again, I got to thank PainUser for coming on. Even though age-old argument will continue on,
God.
Banshees
No,
and
hey,
BTs.
it's
No, we're done.
good.
No.
No.
We're done. That's it. I'm queuing up the
Just
Fat
like
Cat.
you got fancy, Russ. It's over. GG.
Play us out, Fat Cat. See you guys next week.